Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another gigantic turret of mass destruction. And while this thing right behind me is called the REM Gatling Turret, which is this glorious thing over here. So this, well, it doesn't feature any Gatling guns on here, nor does it feature any Gatling turrets. What it's got is 35 assault cannons all inside this barrel, and once you spin it up, when it starts firing, it will just rapidly fire thanks to the salvo script and completely annihilate anything within 1,400 meters of you. And I think with that, it's going to be better for me to show you what this is like than it is for me to tell. So grab me, hold my character running into the base of this structure, so past this ladder, into this corridor, walking all the way across, opening up this doorway, ignoring everything in this room, and hopping into the chair, bringing the free camera all the way back over, because now it's time to bring up the HUD, and then press number 2. What's going to happen now is, well, the barrel's going to start spinning around very rapidly, and there goes all the assault cannons. That's sheer rate of fire there's while firing at. But yes, at the end of the day, this thing is just a solid defense for your base against any kind of large ship trying to approach you. It will not target small ships by default, because it will have problems targeting small ships, because it is quite slow to turn around, and due to the projectile speed, it's going to be quite hard to hit something very zippy. But for a large battleship trying to approach you, well, this thing is going to be an excellent deterrent. So my character once again in first person view, just switching that off, coming into this, we can see what's like first person view, spinning it around, and there we go. It does have a bit of momentum with it, so we start to turn to the left. It will keep going despite me actually lifting the mouse off the mat. In the third person view, looking at the turret once again, and spinning it all the way around. There we go, we can lift it all the way up. That's as far as we can go, so we get a little clonk saying we're at our maximum, how far up we can look. Then of course we can fire it like so. And then once we're done, we can switch that off, and of course pull it all the way back down. But yes, this thing can spin at full 360, so away we go all the way around. It's going to take a little bit of time me dragging the mouse around. There we go. So yes, this thing can do a lot of damage and hit from pretty much any direction. So my character, once again, I think I'm going to do one final example before we go into the usual stuff of having a look around the outside, having a look around the interior and all the block count and all of that. We're just going to, with the free camera once again, because I actually need to have my character outside the ship, we're going to move the camera just a little bit away, press F10, come to the spawn menu, whose ship do I want to blow up? We're just going to come down to here. In fact, it doesn't even need to be a ship, we just go take that. Oh, that's a bit big for actually doing this. We're going to go for the Exile Scrap Fighter, and we're just going to drop it all the way down there. So hopping into the seat, making sure the AI and the blocks are turned on. Oh, we're already started firing. Just had to spawn in a couple of these because I was not targeting it properly. But there we go, there's the stream of shots going towards it. And it seems like it is having a little... Oh no, I was going to say I was going to have a bit of trouble aiming at them, but it looks like it's going for that one in the distance. But there goes that one, I completely missed the big explosion. There goes all the shots from those assault cannons, absolutely annihilating the poor little ships. And yes, you can see it is, well, doing an absolute bang-up job at annihilating these ships. Here we go, it's trying to hit that one, but it is struggling a little bit. It's clipping it just a little bit. And well, eventually it will just completely annihilate it until it eventually gets pushed out of its range. And then that'll be that. That's a lovely stream of shots going into it. And it looks like it has stopped. And it might... Oh, it is still firing. Looks like we have hit the limit on how many little animations can play. But it's still trying to go for this one over here. We're getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And that should be the absolute limit where the turret can actually shoot. So there we go. Doing that one more time. In fact, it's actually trying to shoot it one more time. We're going to turn that off. Hopefully it will stop. Or hopefully it will stop some point soon. In fact, there was another one right there that it's trying to aim for. But that's been turned off. And I'm just going to hop out of the seat. And spawn in a brand new one. I'm going to make it face like so. Back into the seat. Going like that. Free camera once again. Pressing number 8. And there we go. The stream shots come towards it. And just absolutely annihilates anything over here. But of course, it's going to be a lot more stronger for shooting large block ships, shooting giant capital ships, because they are, well, they're not going to be pushed away from the sheer force of all the shots. Enough of that, they can just keep on shooting. I'm going to, well, I don't even need to hop out of this. Just bring the free camera back over to the turret. We're going to press F10, find its spawn menu, go around the outside, have a little look around the interior, go through the controls, then we're going to start blasting up some much larger ships. So pressing F10 and find this in spawn menu, the REM Gatling Turret is a whopping 5,592 large blocks, using the Debris Block number 2, Warfare 2 and Heavy Industry DLC packs. We see down here there's actual block size is only 3,234, which still is a bloody large number for a Gatling turret. Then we can see at the top here some very important bits of information, where our maximum range is 1,400 meters, and then we got a 900 shells per minute rate of fire, which is bloody incredible and bloody destructive. So giving this thing a thumbs up, we're going to move around towards the very front, which I'm designating as this area over here. We're going to have a look around the outside like I said, and just go from there. So for the base itself, what we've got is a couple of ladders on each side to be able to get up into those corridors, You'll get into the doorway, then into the main control room to control the turret. Not really too much to talk about on the outside here, just a bunch of lovely grey and then red steel blocks in the dusty coloured skin. We get all the way up here, so we've got ourselves an interior light, then we've got a decoy behind the catwalk, then all the way down to here we just about make out our rotor, which has been hidden away to allow it to spin a full 360. In fact, that's a fantastic view of where the rotor is sitting, not connected up to anything. Anyway, putting away from that, and onto this side, largely the same as what we just saw, but without the decoy. Then all the way onto this side, here's another decoy, and there we are. Moving up to the turret with the sunlight on it, there we go. And this is what we get. So we've got a heat vent on the side, we've got a spotlight over here for a bit of decoration, a conveyor cam for, again, a bit of decoration. And then around towards the back there, we'll then have a program blocked by salvo scripts. And then down to here, we just about make our hinge to lift it all the way up and shoot 9 degrees up in the air. Moving all the way up to this thing, looking down, all the way across to the barrel. So there's our camera to actually aim it. We've got a camera on each side of this thing so we get a good view of where we're shooting. So go on the left, right, top and bottom. And all the way across there, here's our barrel once again with a rotor to spin it all the way around. So there it is right there, just connected up to nothing. We move all the way across to here. Here we go, we've got some columns with some decoration. And of course, our rounded steel blocks go all the way across towards the end here as we get redder and redder and redder with our colouring of our blocks. Until we get to the very end here, we've got this lovely sort of greyish reddish colouring at the end of our nozzle. And down to here, looking at on the front here, here's all of our assault cannons. So like I said, we've got 35 on here, 5 in each barrel. And they do work on the salvo scripts, so they don't fire all at the same time. But I suppose you could make them fire at the same time. That kind of defeats the point of what this turret is trying to go for. Moving the camera all the way through. Here we go. That's simply how they've been set up. All the way into here, all the way across. And there we go. So we've got a lot of turrets all the way behind. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Whether these can actually shoot, whether these here are for decoration. I haven't been able to actually check this, but let's just keep going towards the back here to eventually hit our rotor. There it is. And that's the back of the turret. And it goes looking on the side. There we go. Turn on my light. And all the way down underneath this thing. And there we go. So we've got a little bit of light just shooting out over here from the small interior lights. And of course looking down onto this part, there's your left and right. And there's once again a clear view at our hinge. Moving all the way down underneath this thing. Here we go. So yes, not too much to talk about here, but I suppose you could use that very convenient block in the middle for a conveyor. Come all the way out over your base. But that's up to you whether you want to do that. And as for that, that's a very brief look around the outside of the Gatling turret. It looks bloody fantastic with how it's been set up. A bloody fantastic use of the red and the grey mixing it together, especially on the end of the barrel with how it gradually goes across to that reddish colouring. And just looks bloody fantastic overall. But yes, grabbing hold my character, hopping out of the seat and dropping it all the way down like so. Time to go through the main doors once again to get a better look at what's going on the inside. So across to here, up this ladder, and then down into our passages. So walking across to here, through this doorway, closing right behind me, and this is what we get. So in the room, it's not really too much to talk about. There's no way up, there's no way down, this is all we're going to get. We simply got some LCD screens showing us a few little blueprints, decorative blueprints around the room. Of course, we've got our REM controllers, our AI blocks, our custom weapon controller, and all of that. So there's our main seat to actually control the turret. There's our extremely important custom weapon controller to make sure this whole turret can actually work. And then of course around the room we've got a bunch of batteries to give it a nice bit of power. Walking around this side here, here we go, we've got our doorway to go to the opposite side, onto here, and all the way round. Then once again, another doorway to lead outside. And that's about it for the interior. So yes, you could, if you want to, move the program block down into here, but once again, it doesn't really matter if it's blown up. All that's going to happen is you're not going to get the salvo effect, and simply fire all 35 railguns, or all 35 assault cannons even, at the same time, which would be even more destructive, especially against a small ship that they do all hit at the same time. Without further ado, hopping into the seat, bring up the HUD, these are the only controls we get. So on number 2, we don't really need to touch anything about this. These are simply for your projector, your light. The projector's going to be to project the entire turret to power up if it ever took damage. And of course the lights are for the lights on the side. So around here, we now turn them on and off. There we go. And over to tandem 1, back in first person view. We've got number 1, number 2 to actually control the turret. And then number 2 is going to fire it. You see it's quite odd having the firing button tied to a rotor, but it hasn't been done on a few designs before that I've showcased on this channel. Then of course number 3, 4, 5 and 6 going for your camera all the way around the turret. Press number 3, that's for the top view. Press number 4, that's for the side. Press number 5, that's down below the turret. And press number 6 for the opposite side, down below the turret, so we get a good view of where we're aiming and where we need to go. So down here we now aim down at that asteroid, switching the camera, and there we go, make sure that we can actually hit our target and not waste our precious ammunition. Popping out of that view, we've got number 7, 8 and 9 for our custom weapon controller, but number 7 is going to turn the AI on and off, so you don't want to automatically blast your enemies. You can do that, the maze what I demonstrated before we went around the outside, of being able to target a small block ship on and off, and then number 9 to change what it's targeting. I said the default, it does spawn in targeting the power by default. Out of that, that's that for the outside, that's that for the controls, that's that for the interior and what it can do. I think it's time for me to play around a bit more by spawning in some large ships and blasting them with all of our assault cannons. So with the free camera, moving this slightly away over to here, and in fact I want to get into the seat to make sure it's not going to target it before I can actually get the camera over there, get a good view. There we go, that should do quite nicely. If I've got to hop out of there to make sure I can actually spawn stuff in. Pressing F10, finally the good old albatross, because that is a bloody good target to actually shoot with a lot of turrets. And there we go, we're going to put it side on. So once that spawns in, grabbing hold of my character, hopping in the seat, viewing it like so, all the way across. And I suppose what I will do is do a bit of manual firing. So shooting it like so, into the front there. And there we are, with the free camera coming all the way over. We see our shots coming out the other side. And at the front there, there we go, we're going for our atmospheric thrusters. Taking over the turret, making it move around just a bit more, swinging it a bit to the right. There we go, moving the camera over like so. And there we are. Despite having that many guns on here, it doesn't really do too much damage. So if you are playing on the very edge of the range of this turret, you can easily just back off and get away with minimal damage dealt. But if you do stay very close to it, if you do stay still and not maneuver around this thing, it is, well, as you can see right here, going to tear straight through your ship. Anyway, coming across to the back. There we go. And then swing back to the left. There we are, we see it slowly deleting all the blocks. And with that, I'm going to turn that off, switch over to the AI, make sure we can target small ships as well, because we're going to do that a bit later on. And here we go, just gave it to space pirates and they've open fired on each other. As you can see there, the Gatling turrets are shooting into the turret, and the turret is shooting into the albatross. And, well, it's doing a lot of damage, but I think the big old Gatling turret is going to win out at the end of the day. They might be able to save a few of the assault cannons, but I don't think it's going to help them. They've been completely shredded at the back, they've been that hydrogen tank exploded and took out half the ship, or at least that rear section of the ship. There goes all of the Gatling turrets onto the big old Gatling turret over to here. As we see, that is still firing, that is still wobbling around there. That looks quite dangerous. It looks like the Clank is going to blow up. But as you can see there, we can see the projector is projecting all the blocks that have been damaged. But it is still firing, it is still giving it its all. And I might need to change it over to the weapons. There we go. That should help greatly with dealing with the turrets. There we go. That's just nailed that Gatling turret up there. It's going for that one. It's going to keep firing. It's going to go for this one down here. That one's now gone. That top one is also gone. And looks like it has completely disabled all the turrets on the albatross. So I'm going to switch over to propulsion and start blasting into that. But I might just go over for the default, because it's always a lot better and a lot fun to view. So over to here, it's now pummeling into the front. Look at all those particle effects shooting off poor albatross. It's now coming over to this section. Hopefully it will go for those atmospheric thrusters. Yes, it did. It just blew up. Not too big of an explosion. Yes, this poor little ship has been completely disabled and is now flying away with all of its smoke. So we're just going to leave it do its little thing for the moment. And I'm going to turn my attention back to the turret, so we can actually see what kind of damage was dealt to the REM Gatling turret. Due to the fact the Albatross does have quite a lot of Gatling turrets on it itself, which should have done a fair bit of damage. Over here, this is what we get. It looks like it has destroyed our projector. No, it has not, so we can turn that on once again. It looks like it has done quite a bit of damage. We're going to turn it off like so, take over it, and now move it all the way down. There we go, we're going to turn that off, and have a very good look at what's going on here. So with an engagement with a large ship, a very large ship, this is what we're left with. So we lost, well, it looks like we haven't lost any of our assault cannons, but we have lost one hell of a lot of steel blocks surrounding it. Onto the side here, look at all of that damage. It's just completely deformed steel blocks. When we get over here, we lost a few of our columns, a few of our steel blocks, lots and lots of deformed red blocks over to here. Looking at over onto this section, looks like we have lost a chunk right there. So that rotor is very exposed and could easily be damaged by a few stray shots coming from this direction. And onto the main body. There we go, a few deformed blocks right there. Our cameras are now floating, look at that. And then down onto the actual main body itself. Doesn't look like it took any damage whatsoever, so it's purely going for the top part of where all of our assault cannons are sitting. Onto the bank there, nothing should have been dealt. Onto the top there. And there we are. So it did very, very well to actually disable that ship. Despite getting the advantage, despite actually not targeting the turrets first of all, it did very well. So what I can do now is, once again, turn on the turret. There we go. We're now going to hop out of the controls of this thing. I'm going to let it do its thing. It might actually start targeting that once again, so I might need to actually go and delete that. So grabbing hold of this character over here, who's somehow still inside the Albatross after all of that, we're going to delete this. And being it seems like it's a safe distance away, what I'm going to do is now spawn in a small ship. I'm going to fly over it and try and dodge all the turrets, see how effective it is against a small block ship. And here we go, this will do quite nicely. So hopping into this, And now hopping into it like so, aiming towards where the turret should be, pressing I, come into info, here we go, this thing's called the MSF Raven, which I did showcase on not too long ago, in fact it was quite a long time ago, but this does have custom missiles on the front of it, so we can launch them into there. They'll automatically find the enemies and start to blast straight into them. But what I've got to do now is come to the control panel, and make sure I can select everything, there we go. Now we're going to change this to the space bars, and now it's time to hop back into the seat and fly all the way over to the turret and hopefully not get blasted. So this thing is not as fast as I was hoping it's going to be, but should do quite well. So we'll fly all the way over to it. But I've lost where that turret is sitting. There it is right there. In fact, that thing is an ally. That should be all the way round. There we go, with the camera zooming all the way in. There is the turret. Will it target me? Might not. I need to go in front of it before I actually activate and start to blast into me. Oh god, there goes all the shots. And I'm not actually... Oh god, there's a shot. I was wondering where it was going. But no, we did get clipped right there. We're going to fly all the way around it. And there we are. That is the power of it. And then trying to hit the small ship. It clips me every now and again, and it does send me flying. It looks like we haven't lost any of our blocks, but it's still trying to get me. So we're going to do a 180 and come all the way around once again. There it goes. It's now going to start shooting. Will it turn around? It might have a damaged rotor. Oh god, no it does not. It's now spun all the way around. It's now tracking me very, very well. I should not go that close to it. So it seems like we are staying at about 1 kilometer away from this turret. We can maneuver our small ships around. But as soon as we try to get close to it, as soon as we try to fly all the way up to it, maybe drop a payload, drop a bunch of warheads onto it, it will just shred us instantly. And here we go, now going to start. Oh! I was going to say, here we go, we're going to now start flying into it, but no, it's disabled my cockpit, and I've been ejected all the way out of it. And it's now going to start to fly all the way away. That's going to be completely out of its range. And there we are, with a small ship. But anyway, that's enough of me having fun with this turret. It's a bloody fantastic turret to use in your world. If you want to have something that's a more destructive defense, protect your base, protect your precious cargo, or even a ship docking bay from any kind of pesky drones, anything the modular systems and counterpart throws at you, or anything another player will throw at you, because this thing will do a nice lot of damage to them, and will be a nice deterrent to well stop them from coming close. So as always, there'll be a link to the description below to download and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do, and I am very impressed that this thing is still firing despite it still wobbling around like that. It looks absolutely terrifying that it is just wobbling for all the blocks being so deformed. Now, as I was saying, there'll be a link to the description below to download and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do, because it's a fantastic turret and a lot of fun to play with in creative mode. And well, I'll be back with another video sometime soon. Bye bye.